Hello, and thank you for being here. My name's Alayna Stepp.
And my name is Carrie, Pritt. And the title of our performance is Light Behind a Wall, the Denial of Rights in Communist East Germany.
In East Germany, on February 9, 1950, the Ministry for State Security was formed.
It began an era in which the lives of East Germans were no longer their own.
You may have heard of East Germany's secret police. The denial of rights, the informers, the prisons, the lies. People were coerced into spying on family, friends, and even neighbors.
A woman named Vera discovered while reading her Stasi file that Knut Wollenberger, her loving husband, and the father of her 2 children, had met, dated, and married her on a mission to spy on her efforts to stop the communist regime.
In a central Stasi prison, the cells were lined with rubber so that they could be filled with water, until the prisoners would have to stand on the tips of their toes to avoid drowning.
You may have heard of these horrors, and many others, but maybe you haven't heard about the desperation that seeped into your life when you realized that your future and your choices were no longer your own. You were just a puppet with a secret police agent pulling the strings.
Often people were too desperate to consider rebelling against an unfair government and its unfair secret police. But beneath the covering of shame and guilt and desperation, many people believed that it was their responsibility to rebel. Some kissed that thought goodbye and hoped only to stay alive. Others never stopped fighting.
Guten Tag, my name is Lisa. The year is 1974, and I'm 26 years old. My life is defined by 2 things. First, my daughter Katja, and second, the secret security system that watches over me and the rest of East Germany. It is called the Staatssicherheitsdienst, the Ministry for State Security, but we call it the Stasi. It is a powerful tool for our government to ensure that every citizen respects the law.
Hello, my name is Erica, and I'm 23 years old. I've lived in East Germany all my life. The Stasi have been around for as long as I can remember. Ever since I was a little girl, my father told me to stay away from them. That's before he was taken away. They took him, tortured him, and only the good Lord knows what happened to him. I was only 6 years old.
Although the idea of a secret police watching us and people informing on each other may sound dramatic and interesting, it's really nothing like that. Often the most terrible demons are the ones that lurk in the shadows, like the fear for myself and my daughter that plagues me every day. I used to wonder which of my friends and family was watching me. I would wonder if I was unconsciously breaking some law, because I knew that if there was even a suspicion that I was a threat to the system, I could be thrown in jail. Every day was like that. And then they asked me to be an informer. If I said no, they could hurt me. They could make me lose my job and the little income I had. They could take away my daughter. I had no choice but to join them.
To help support my family, I took a job as a journalist and worked on television in East Berlin, mainly in the arts. My personal opinions often run contrary to the main social views of the country, but I can never be extremely political. You know that they leave me in peace. My dream is to be able to work freely and without the Stasi watching me every move, but I don't want any trouble. I mustn't make the same mistakes my father did.
I am an IM, which stands for Inoffizielle Mitarbeiter, unofficial coworker. I don't go out of my way to collect information, but when the woman that I'm informing on says or does something that the Stasi might like to know about, I make a mental note to add it to her file later. I don't inform very much, not enough to be ashamed for.
I can't bear to live in fear like this anymore. I don't want my son to have to grow up in the same fear and oppression that I did. I just returned from a family vacation to Hungary, where I visited a Western embassy to explore the possibility of defecting to the West. The only person I told, besides my immediate family, was my sister-in-law. I said, if anything goes wrong and I disappear into thin air, you'll know what happened.
In a way, it feels good. Sitting with a typewriter after Katja has gone to bed and typing up what I've learned today. In a way, it feels good. And in 99 other ways, it feels horrible. I know that I'm securing my status as a friend of the state with every word I type. I know that I'm safe and my daughter is safe, and we too have privileges. But at what cost? This is morally wrong. There's no doubt about that. Of course, if I don't inform on her, someone else will. The Stasi will find out what they want to find out, one way or the other. Still, I could live to be 1,000 and never quite believe myself when I say that this is the only way out.
In Hungary, I was told, you'll have nothing to fear when you return. But only a few days after I returned to East Berlin, it was clear to me that we were under constant surveillance. One morning I woke up, and there were 12 Stasi officials lined up in front of my bed. Kommen Sie mit! Come with us and clear up the matter, they said. They took me to prison, interrogated me, convicted me of a number of ridiculous crimes, and threw me in here. It's been almost a month and I don't know where my son is. I don't know if it's true or not, but they tell me my husband has a new girlfriend. I can't clearly differentiate between what's real and what's not anymore, because I've been isolated for so long. The only person I ever see and talk with is my interrogator. Everyone else has ceased to exist. It makes me ill. I think I'm losing my mind.
I now recognize my work for the State Security Ministry as support for a criminal organization, almost the same as if I had supported the Red Army faction or the Gestapo. The Stasi is systematically seeking to destroy its people's personal and professional lives. It's criminal. And worse than that, it's evil. I've realized that I have a responsibility to protect the rights of the people around me.
The wall came down on November 9th, 1989, and the Stasi crumbled with it. But the memories still haunt me. It's as if I was emerging from a labyrinth where there was hardly any light, only darkness, foul smells and filth piled upon filth. The Stasi's methods were unbelievable. I'll never be able to forget those years.
Here you are, ma'am, the Stasi file in your question.
April 12, 1974. I am codename Angela. Code Frau speaks to me about plans to make illegal border crossing in the first degree. Recommended surveillance of all embassies. It's talking about me. I'm Frau, but who could have done this? I barely told anyone about my plans to defect to the West, let alone a Stasi spy. I'm certain the only person I told was Lisa. And that was just so that... Lisa. She had changed in the weeks before my arrest, that's for sure. She had become timid and drawn in and scared. I haven't spoken to my sister-in-law in over 20 years. I can't believe this. No, I won't.
It's been more than 20 years since I caused Erica to be arrested. I still remember how it all happened. That night, I couldn't sleep, and I saw the Stasi agents parked near her house, a block from mine. When she didn't return, I knew what I had done. Since then, I haven't stopped punishing myself. Before my sister-in-law was released, I moved to a different city. I ignored her calls, and she stopped trying to make contact. But then, today she called me. Hello, Lisa Bandline.
Lisa, it's Erica.
Erica, it's been a while.
I just read my Stasi file. Why did you do it?
The Stasi came to me and they could hurt me. And Katja, I didn't know how to say no. Erica, I'm so sorry.
It's all in the past, Anne. Just wish the whole thing had never happened. Reading my Stasi file is like watching an old movie that I could barely remember. I read about this woman I went out to lunch with, where we went, and what I ordered. I saw copies of letters, reports of things I did, all kinds of trivia. The Stasi tried to find any piece of dirt, any evidence of weakness that they could use against me. When I first learned what they did, I was completely outraged. Then I became frustrated, and in the end, I was just very, very sad about the portion of my life that they had taken away from me.
We all know about the cruelty of Nazi Germany's Gestapo. What many people don't know is that East Germany Stasi was much larger and more tactically sophisticated than the Gestapo. What it lacked in physical brutality, it made up for in treachery and guile.
It was the sword and shield of the party, designed to protect the communist regime at all costs. With its intricate web of informers and agents, it was undoubtedly one of the most oppressive secret police forces in all of history.
But there are important truths to be found between the lines of the stories of hundreds of East Germans, whose lives were ruined by the Stasi.
Through their lives, we are shown what a horror it is for a government to manipulate and abuse its citizens. When those citizens bow to such a government, their freedom is lost. That is a tragedy.
We are shown that we have a responsibility to protect ourselves against the denial of basic human rights, such as privacy rights, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press.
We are shown that it is morally wrong to invade the rights of people around us, even when ordered by superiors to do so.
We are shown that if we strip away the layers of race,
gender,
title,
and position,
we are all human beings with the same fundamental rights and the same responsibility to protect them.